Hey folks, Luxinda Swirl here. I have a customer order for my F-Bomb tumbler with succulents. It's a white glitter cup and water slide. That's how I get the succulents onto it. They want it in a 30-ounce size. I currently only have one on my shelf that's in the 20-ounce size, so we need to make a 30-ounce one. And I figured I would bring you along for the ride. I will be doing the Tacket Method to start, and I haven't done one of those in a while. So I have my spray painted white 30-ounce skinny, and I have my Aleene's Tack It Over and Over glue. I have a little water in this cup already. It's a half and half sort of thing, so I'm going to add my Aleene's glue here. And then stir it up and paint it on. I've been watching Courtney's Customs a lot lately. Well, that's messy. And she actually uses more than half glue. Probably takes less time to dry that way. I'm going to add a little more glue here. And then we'll do 2 coats brushed onto the cup. And then I'm going to hit it with Peachy Olive Glitter's Bright, which is not a holographic white. I can't find a holographic white. Maybe it doesn't exist, I don't know. But this is a rainbow extra fine glitter from Peachy Olive Glitters. So I guess that will just be close enough. You can tack it with any type of glitter, technically. But it doesn't get the beautiful rainbow aura effect unless it's a holographic glitter. But oh my God! But apparently you can do it with any glitter, and it will be a glitter cup. It just won't necessarily be a holographic glitter cup. So, having covered myself in glue, I'm going to clean that up. And yuck! I have one of these. Oh, more on my hands. Be using one of these Mod Podge brushes. I got this off of Amazon. I will link to everything below. As always, the cup is from Makerflow. The Aleene's I got on Amazon. The Peachy Olive Glitters, I'll link to that. I'll link to everything. So here we go. Just going to brush this on all over in a hopefully even, streakless if possible, or as streakless as possible. We'll let it dry, and then I'll come back and I'll brush on a second layer and let that dry, and then it should be really good and tacky at that point. And we will put our glitter onto it, and then we will rub it down flat, which is basically what the Tacket Method is all about. Let's see if we can get some good coverage. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry on my dollar paper towel holder, Dollar Tree paper towel holder. Paint on another layer, let it dry again, and then I'll bring you back and show you the whole tackety thing. And we're back. Alrighty, here's our cup. It has been layered twice with Aleene's Tack It Over and Over mixed with water. It is dry, but very tacky. So now I'm going to apply the Peachy Olive Glitters Bright, and then we will do the tackety part. Okay. The Tacket Method means I'm going to use my fingers to rub the glitter and flatten everything. think you can see it. I think, let me do another row. Okay, I think you can see the difference. Hopefully you can see the difference. It's shiny and flat, and then it gets sort of fluffy looking. We're getting rid of the fluffy part, and we're tacking everything flat to the tumbler. All right, nice and flat, nice and smooth. Now I am going to take this out on the deck, and I'm going to spray it with Rust-Oleum 2X matte clear spray. Let that dry fully, and then I will put on a layer of epoxy, and we will come back and do our water slides. Stay tuned. And we're back. Okay, so I took my Tacket Method white glittered tumbler, sprayed it with 2 layers of Rust-Oleum matte clear spray paint, and then I put a layer of epoxy on it, and in the layer of epoxy, it was just clear epoxy until I added my Marabou alcohol ink color shift glitter in blue to green to gold. So this is very much like the rainbow alcohol ink additive I add, except these sparkles in here are a tiny bit bigger, and they are color shifting. I just thought that might add a different sparkle to the glitter we'd already put on underneath. It may just not show up well on the camera, but it is beautifully sparkly is the point I'm trying to make here. It really looks gorgeous. And the epoxy went on great. I have since sanded it around the rim to smooth that off and give me a band of naked stainless steel at the top. That will be what the final coat of epoxy adheres to, creates a seal for the whole thing. But first, we have to put on our water slides. So that's why I brought you back. It is time for the water slide part. I'm going to start with the main decal graphic here, which is a naughty word, repeated many times. It's something I love to say, especially when I'm working here in the craft room and things are not going well. And we have it all beautied up in a frame of lovely succulents. So I have mirrored the image, so the words are reversed as though looking in a mirror, because we are going to put this water slide on using my beloved hack of putting it face down and then sliding the backing paper off that way. Instead of having to put the water slide on here and then try and sneak the paper out, we just put it on like this, press down so it sticks to the cup, and then pull the backing paper off. That seems to go better. And it's going to go thereabouts. I'm going to start by putting this in the water. This is cold water straight out of the tap. It's not room temperature yet. Let's see, what did I do? I printed my water slide graphics out on my inkjet water slide matte paper. I will link to everything below. And when it was printed, I let it sit for a few minutes just to make sure the inkjet ink dried, and then I sprayed it with 2 generous layers of Rust-Oleum matte clear spray. That's to seal the inks in place so they won't run now that we're going to put them in the water. And then the final layer, the 3rd layer, was Plastidip Glossifier, also a generous layer. And by generous, I basically mean I spray back and forth this way, then I spray back and forth this way, and then I sort of do a roundabout thing, and that's considered a layer. And then I go away for 20 to 25 minutes while it dries, come back, do that 3 times. So 2 layers of the Rust-Oleum clear matte. It can be clear glossy, but glossy doesn't dry as fast. That's why I prefer matte. And after the 2 layers of the Rust-Oleum clear, then you put on the final layer of the Plastidip Glossifier. And again, links to everything will be below. So, cut out my water slide. This is clear water slide, so the colors in the black will show up against the white background, but the clear edges will not show, especially after you put a layer of, I should move this over so you can see it better, a layer of epoxy over the whole thing, which we will be doing after all the water slides are on and everything has thoroughly dried. Then I'll probably spray seal it again with a Rust-Oleum clear, couple layers, just to make sure everything's good and stuck on there, and then I will do a layer of epoxy. Okay, this seems good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put some water on. The nice thing is you can see through it, so it's not as hard to place it as it seems initially when it's solid white. Pushing it, and then just sliding this off. And there's our beautiful decal. I'll clean up the water around it. And then to make sure all the water is out from underneath it, I have my beautiful, wonderful silicone brush that is nice and almost perfectly curved for brushing along a tumbler. And I just use that to squeegee all the water out from underneath the graphic. It also smooths out any wrinkles, pushes out any bubbles. This is a wonderful tool if you're doing water slides. All right, that looks fantastic. Okay, I will use the paper towel to sort of mop up the excess, and then I'm going to let this dry before I come back and attempt the harder of the decals, which is the one that wraps around the bottom. That always gives me a little trouble. And we're back. Okay, now for the really, really fun one. I will start by cutting this out. I think I'm going to turn it over and try the upside down method and see how it works. Here's my join. I just want to make sure things are as flattened out as they can be, and they're not. I have a wrinkle. Smoothly. I'm going to put my hand in. Oh. Oh no. Oh backup of the fuckity fuck fuck too. There you go. See, things don't always work the way they're supposed to. Okay, it's okay. We have backups. Let me take the rest of this off. Okay, so now we have the bottom done. Now we have to go back and redo the top, but that's okay. And we're back again. I actually toyed for a second with, I entertained the idea very briefly of editing this so it looked like I deliberately did the bottom part first and then went on to do the F-bomb decal and didn't show you any hint of the part where I screwed it up. But that's not fair. And it doesn't help anybody who runs into this in the future. I would say my biggest piece of advice with water slides, aside from the layer of Plastidip glossifier that a lot of people say they don't use, they don't need, but I found to be very helpful when you're having to move things around like I did with this big wrap piece on the bottom. The other piece of advice I have is to print everything in duplicate that you're going to use. You may not need it. It may actually be a waste of waterslide paper, and I know it's expensive stuff, but you're going to end up having to reprint it anyway at some point. So I just find it a little easier to take mistakes when they happen, like this. If I know I've got a backup ready, I don't have to stop everything, go print it, and then go through, 3 layers of spray paint with 30 minutes in between each and blah, 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 all over again. Hopefully I won't screw the second one up. This is from Glitter Glams. I won a giveaway raffle or something, and I got a $25 credit with them, and so I bought a whole bunch of their shaped glitter that I didn't have. And here we have, this is called Your Number One, but if you look at it closely, it's the middle finger being held up for the number 1 significance. So I'll put a few of those around the bottom as well. I just paint a little Mod Podge on, stick these on, paint Mod Podge over it to seal it in, and then I still go through my regular sealing the whole thing once the water slides are on with the Rust-Oleum 2X clear. All right, put on some water, turn this baby over, place it where we want it. Press down. Well, this one's not coming off as easily. Get it into place, make sure everybody's happy. Okay. Now, without touching that bottom bit at all with my hands, I'm just gonna keep one hand inside the cup, use the silicone tool with the other side, and then just set the whole thing down and let it dry again. Okay. And we're back. Okay, real quick before my camera runs out of juice, we'll just do a couple of these. I mean, you probably get the gist already, but I'll just do a couple. Basically like that all the way around. Let this Mod Podge dry, brush on more just around the circle. Then I'll spray with Rust-Oleum 2X clear like I've already described a number of times. Put on a layer of epoxy, bring you back for the big reveal. So, get ready for the big reveal. That'll be up next. Here it is, everybody. Finished cup. F-bombs and all. Turned out really, really, really nicely. Excuse the wind. We've got great sunshine today, but really super cold wind out here. Anyway, this turned out great. I'm thrilled. It needs another coat of epoxy just to make it good and strong and ready to use for the customer. Also wanted to show you the bottom. Hang on. Here's how the bottom turned out. Looks pretty neat, huh? Thanks everyone. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.